Hi, welcome back to K-12 Analytics Engineering. I am Marcos L. Kozer, and today we are going to be looking at how to create a client SDK in your preferred programming language to interact with the Edify API. And in this example, we are going to be using Python because it's my video and that's my preferred programming language, but you'll see you can create one in many different languages. So let's flip over to the desktop and let's walk through this. We are going to start here at swagger.io. On swagger.io, you want to go ahead and create a free account. It will put you in a 14-day free trial and then just bump you to the free tier. And so I'll continue with GitHub. And I land here on a screen where I can document my API. I'm going to click Create New and say Import and Document API. And Swagger Hub wants a path to my Open API spec. So I'm going to jump over to api.edify.org and I'm going to use the spec here rather than go and deploy my own Edify API and Swagger. I'll go to Documentation and Sandbox, go to Resources, and here up toward the top, we have a URL to the Swagger file. So I am going to copy the link there, go back to Swagger Hub, and paste that in there, and I'm going to click Import. Alright, it tells me it's valid JSON. I hit Import again. Alright, we've got the API spec in there, and then top right under Export, we can click and go down to Client SDK, and we see a bunch of supported languages here. I'm going to scroll down and click on Python, and it's going to download a zip file. Now I've actually already unzipped the zip file on my machine into a code repo where I have a Jupyter Notebook, and so I'm going to open up that code repo right now, and I have that repo documented in the description below so that you can clone that onto your machine as well. When that first opens in Visual Studio Code, you'll notice at the bottom right, Visual Studio Code wants to know if I want to open the repo in a container. And it's doing that because I have this dev container folder here. So when you first open this, you want to copy the .env sample, which has the public Edify Alliance API information there. You want to copy the file, and you want to create a .env file, and you want to either use the same URL key and secret if you're just doing testing, or you want to switch it out with your URL key and secret. Once you've done that, then you can click Reopen in Container, and if it goes away, just click the bottom left and you click on Reopen in Container. Once it's open, you want to navigate to the source folder, resources. There is the Swagger client. So that is the zip file that I unzipped and I placed inside of my folder directory. And I'm going to go inside of the configuration file. This is the only file that I edited from the client SDK that I downloaded. And I edited it to do one thing, which is to import those environment variables. So up on line 19, I import OS. On line 44, I changed the value to say os.environ.get, and so that's getting the value for Edify base URL from the environment variables, and it's concatenating it with the following string and storing it into self.host, and then I do something similar down here for username and password. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the Get Data Jupyter Notebook, and I'm going to go ahead and run this, and I'll run this cell by cell to kind of walk through what's going on here. So the first one is I am importing a bunch of things, including requests and that Swagger client that we downloaded. Then I am retrieving an access token, and so here I am initializing an API client, and then I am retrieving a token from the /OAuth/token. I'm making my post request. And when I run this, I see successfully retrieved new token, tells me when it expires, and then the access token itself. Now I'm going to get the schools from the API. And so here I am initializing schools API. Swagger client dot schools API. So I'm creating that object and I'm passing in my API client, and then I'm running the get schools method. So here is Python that's actually using that client SDK to interact with the target edfi API. And so I run that and it tells me that it retrieved 8 schools. Now let's say I want to pull a specific field. And so schools is actually a list. So I take just the first one, the first value, or the first dictionary, I should say, and then I get name of institution, and I get that here. So this is a good starter notebook to show you actually how to use the client SDK for Python once you've downloaded that. I've also got another one for posting data that you can look at. This one gets the access token. It creates a student object, and then it shows you how to post that student payload to the edfi API. And that's just a quick look at how you can generate your own client SDK for interfacing with a target edfi API. I showed you Python here, but if you remember from that drop down, there's plenty of other languages that you can generate as well.